breath and I'm ready to go. I'm falling right in and I'm ready to go. I found what I want and I know that we're on top, so I'll dive in and I'm ready to whoa. Holding my breath and I'm ready to go. I catch you laughing and I'm ready to go. You're holding the match, strike it and ignite my soul. I'll dive in and I'm ready to whoa.
For this particular trip, my wife and I decided to treat ourselves to Caesar's Palace, which is a place that we've stayed before, and we had an okay stay, but we thought we would give it another go on this vacation. I booked this room way back in like August, so we scored an absolutely ridiculous deal. Check this out, $29 a night. $29 a night to stay at Caesar's Palace, which is in and of itself impressive, but when you take into consideration all the various events and activities that were going on in Las Vegas over the course of our stay, it's doubly impressive. There was a Raiders game on the day that we arrived. There were 2 Vegas Golden Knights games happening over the course of our stay. There were a ton of different concerts going on, and NFR, National Finals Rodeo, which brings like 150,000 people into the city. That was going on while we were in Las Vegas. So again, the fact that we were able to get a room at Caesar's Palace for $29 a night, never mind a room anywhere in Las Vegas for $29 a night with all of that going on, was super, super impressive. Keeping in mind as well, full disclosure, I don't pay resort fees when I go to Las Vegas. It's not because I'm some kind of bigwig or a high roller or anything like that. I'm barely even a low roller when I travel. It's because I bought my way into Caesar's diamond tier on their rewards program with the Founders Card program. Again, I just like to throw that out there as full disclosure so you guys are fully aware of that. Founders Card gets me an instant upgrade to the diamond tier, which means no resort fees when I stay at Caesar's properties, which is outstanding. So again, this was a legit $29 a night room at Caesar's Palace. For those of you who are maybe not totally familiar with Vegas geography, you're not totally sure where Caesar's Palace is, allow me to fill you in. It is in prime real estate, basically middle of the Vegas Strip. You are right across the street from the Link, the Flamingo, and the Cromwell, just north of the Bellagio, just south of the Forum Shops and the Mirage, and kitty corner to the Horseshoe, which of course used to be Bally's. Whenever I do these trip reports, I always like to throw in a little fun fact about the property that I stayed at. Caesar's Palace, this is kind of a fun one, used to actually host a game show. This was back in the early 90s. Game show ran for about 150 episodes on NBC from 1993 to 1994. Show was called Caesar's Challenge. It was hosted by Ahmad Rashad, and it was recorded in the Circus Maximus Theater at the hotel. It was a combination of a word scramble and trivia game, contestants competing for cash and prizes. Contestants were actually pulled out of the audience and up on stage for it. I'll actually post a link to one of the episodes of Caesar's Challenge so you can check it out for yourself. I'm not going to lie, I tried watching it and it was a little bit confusing. I had no idea what was going on for the first little while, which is probably why it only ran for like 150 episodes. A bit about the room that we had at Caesar's Palace. We had a king room on the 8th floor of the Julius Tower. It was room number 891 to be exact. On the west side of the tower, almost at the very, very end of the hallway, our window was facing west and north. We had no view. Like quite literally no view. I opened the curtains to look out and see what our view was. It was of a brick wall and the parking garage. But keeping in mind, this was a $29 a night room. So for $29 a night, you really don't have any right to complain about the view or lack thereof in this case. As for the room itself, it was okay. There was really nothing special about the room per se, and if you didn't know that you were at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, this room would be a basic room at any hotel anywhere in the world. In all honesty, it was actually one of the smallest hotel rooms that I've ever had in Las Vegas. I'd say it was on par, maybe just a little bit bigger than the Burgundy King room that my wife and I had when we stayed at the Paris last year. That was a pretty small room. This was, I would say, pretty close in size. The room itself was in decent shape. The furniture, carpet showing a little bit of wear and tear, but nothing too crazy. Just really showing its age, maybe in need of a little bit of an upgrade, maybe just a fresh coat of paint and some new carpet on the floor. That's about it. The bed, crazy comfortable. It was like sleeping on a marshmallow. It was just, I love a soft bed. Maybe not all the time. I don't think I'd want a soft bed at home, but a soft bed when I'm traveling is just, I don't know what it is. It's like you're sinking into a cloud. I had some of the best sleep I've ever had. Both my wife and I slept like absolute logs on this trip. The bathroom in the room looked like it had been recently renovated and updated. Had a huge vanity, a big double sink, which was really, really nice because as my wife and I were getting ready to go out for the evening, we weren't like right on top of each other. We didn't have to split our time in the bathroom. We were both able to be in there getting ready at the same time. I'm sure as you know, you can figure out, I'm very high maintenance. It takes a little bit of time for me to get ready. Anyways, it was great to not be on top of each other when we were in the bathroom trying to get ready to go out. The shower was great. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a me thing or if it's a guy thing or what. I love a good shower. My day can be determined by how good or bad a shower is. And if I'm staying in a hotel and the shower head doesn't have the right amount of spray, or the water pressure is poor, or the water temperature is bad, that can completely and totally throw off my entire day. That was not the case. It was a nice big shower, lots of space, shower head was awesome, water pressure was great, temperature was great. Oh, and the shower didn't leak like other showers that I've had. You've heard me complain about this on past trip report episodes of the podcast where I talk about how the water hits the door and then runs down and out the bottom and onto the floor and you're wiping up a mess. None of that. Kudos to the Caesars Palace engineers for figuring out how to put together a shower door that doesn't leak. Something that was a little bit disappointing on this trip, no fridge in the room. This is actually the first time that I've ever experienced this at a Caesars property. Every other Caesars property I've ever stayed at, whether it was the Flamingo or Planet Hollywood or the Horseshoe or even Caesars Palace, on our last stay at Caesars Palace, there was a fridge in the room for guest use. The fridge has been replaced with a mini bar. Again, mildly disappointing to not have that space where you can keep your own snacks, drinks, maybe even leftover food. If you're out and about and you have some leftovers, you want to bring it back to the room. Nowhere to keep it, no way to keep it cool. I'm not sure if this was just something specific to Caesars Palace or if this is a trend that's happening at all the Caesars properties. But if you have experienced this, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know, because I'm really curious. This is only something that I've ever experienced at MGM properties in the past. So I'm hoping it's not a trend, because again, it was always nice to have that fridge in the room to be able to store your own stuff. Caesars properties, Caesars resorts, guys, it is 2023, 2024 by the time you're actually enjoying this trip report. Why is there still a 2-device limit on in-room Wi-Fi access? You should not be charging me an additional $14 a day if I want to add a third device. This is normally not a big thing when I'm on my solo trips. I don't care. I can connect my phone and my laptop to the Wi-Fi. But when I have my wife with me, she does not do data roaming on her cell phone, because as Canadians, when we travel to the US, we have to pay like $14 a day to roam in the US. It's crazy. I know, it's stupid. And I'm aware that there's other solutions out there. I could buy a SIM card, or I could do an eSIM or something like that. And that's definitely something that I'm going to look at for future trips. But for this time around, that was the situation. So my wife connects to the in-room Wi-Fi. I connect my laptop to the in-room Wi-Fi. Then I'm stuck with my cell phone just being on the standard cellular network, which, as anybody knows, inside of a hotel and inside of a hotel room is often terrible. So again, guys, get it together. Take the device limit off. MGM Properties does not have a device limit. They allow unlimited access. So it would be great if you guys could do the same. Again, minor inconvenience for my wife and I. Again, not a huge deal. But if you were traveling with a few people, are you really going to drop that $14 a day to add an extra device onto the Wi-Fi network? Definitely not, especially if you're paying that $45 a day resort fee, which, by the way, is what the resort fees are up to. Anyways, Caesar's Palace in and of itself, pros of the property, it is a nice property. There's no getting around the fact that it is a gorgeous property. They have done some upgrades and some renovations around the property. There's tons of amenities on site. I mean, you've got a ridiculous number of restaurants of all different levels, from like super, super fancy right down to food court levels. That's outstanding. Lots of shopping on site as well. Of course, you've got the Forum shops attached. So again, that opens up a whole different level of restaurants and shopping there. The casino at Caesar's Palace is really, really cool. It's a nice big casino, lots of machines, lots of tables. If you're into sports, the sports book at Caesar's Palace is outstanding. They've done a lot of renovations and upgrades in there. And again, the location, that is a huge pro for Caesar's Palace. You are dead center of the strip. You walk out the door, you go left, you go right, you go across the street. You've got access to hundreds of restaurants, all the shopping, all the resorts. Again, the location really cannot be beat. Downsides of Caesar's Palace rather, there are a few of those. It is a massive property. Everything is really, really spread out. A long walk to get anywhere in that property, particularly from the rideshare drop-off to where the rooms are and where the hotel towers are. I mean, they've moved the rideshare drop-off now. It used to be right out front where they would drop you off and pick you up. Now they're picking you up and dropping you off in the parking garage, the Coliseum Valet area. So kind of way, not quite, yeah, at the back of the property. I guess it's fair to say at the back. I mean, I laughingly said to my wife when we got dropped off and had to make our way to the check-in, and then from the check-in to the room, I said to her, I laughed and said, "You are not allowed to get drunk because I'm not carrying your drunk ass from the rideshare all the way up to the room. This is way too far to go." So that may affect your enjoyment of your Vegas trip just on how spread out everything is. It's also easy to get turned around in the property, and some of the signage is not great as well. When we checked in with the Diamond check-in, and we were told, go to the Julius Tower, go to the main casino, go through there, and there you are. Bob's your uncle. You'll find the elevators. We did not find the elevators. We got completely lost, which again is something that I don't think I've ever experienced in a Vegas hotel property before, other than at Caesar's Palace. The signage for the Julius Tower was basically non-existent. I really didn't see any signage for the Julius Tower. So we ended up asking a maintenance guy who walked us basically right to the elevator, which was awesome and super, super appreciated. But again, it is a very large tower. There are some parts of the property that are starting to show their age, but Caesars has started to do some renovations and upgrades over the last few years. As mentioned, they've done some big updates within the casino area and the sports book. Some of the rooms seem to be starting to get updated as well. So that's a bonus there. But again, it is starting to show its age a little bit. Overall impression and thoughts on Caesars. Again, this was our second stay at Caesar's Palace, and our reaction this time around, pretty much the same as last time. I mean, it's Caesar's Palace. It's cool to say you're staying at Caesar's Palace, but honestly, our experience and the rooms that we've stayed in, nothing super whammy special. The property is fine in general, but again, those rooms, really nothing special. And for what they are often priced at, you can find nicer rooms, better rooms, bigger rooms at other properties for less money. Would I stay at Caesars again? would I recommend Caesar's Palace to people? The answer to both of those questions is yes, but only if the price is right.